All right, we are live. Welcome, guys. Today, we're going to talk about why storefront stalking will make you rich. I'm going to start this off with a story because I had an experience a couple years ago which absolutely changed the way that I do Amazon it, and it was because of storefront stalking. So I was storefront stalking maybe a year and a half ago. And I did quite a bit of storefront stalking back then. And I think it was good that I did so. Um, and I was storefront stalking someone off a similar product that I've sold before. And I was kind of just learning from my competitors, like I was talking about yesterday. And I was doing storefront stalking like the old way, where when you storefront stock, you pull up their Amazon page and you see like all the Amazon products on the Amazon page, not in Keepa, not in Seller Amp, none of that. And at the time, I had IP alert, and so at the time, I definitely had the belief that if it was IP alert, if it showed up on IP alert, for those of you guys who don't know, IP Alert is a software that it basically is crowdsourced information about the brands that give IP complaints. And so, of course, we're all not super into IP complaints. We don't like those. But like at the time, I took IP Alert like at its word in every single situation. And I was storefront stalking, and the guy that I was looking at, they literally had probably every other item in their store was showing up on IP Alert. Like I was just on their page going through all their items. Every single one had the red light, every other one. And I looked at his feedback, and he had like 400 feedback. And I'm like, so this guy that has 400 feedback has been around the block. Like he is not a beginner seller. He didn't just get lucky and luck into having that many feedback. His store is not just completely books. He's been experienced. He's been selling a lot, and he's been selling a lot of brands that IP Alert shows are not safe. And so I don't want to knock on IP Alert, but the whole point of this is like there are some beliefs that are just completely wrong that through storefront stalking, that's one really good way to kind of break some of those beliefs. In reality, IP Alert is supposed to be a software to alert you to the fact that certain brands are higher risk of getting IP complaints. And that certainly is true. The wrong belief there is that every single thing that IP Alert shows is actually going to give you an IP complaint, and your account's going to be shut down, and you're going to lose all your money, and you're not going to be able to make any more money, and you're just screwed if you buy anything on IP Alert. That is 100% not true. And through storefront stalking, I've unlocked some of those beliefs just like that, that have made me so much more money. You can make so much more money if you have the right beliefs when it comes to Amazon, because like you really sell yourself short. Like there are people who literally, like, number one, they pigeonhole themselves into a certain type of product. Like number one, some people do this by choice, and they're like fine with it. They just are niche with it, and like that works. And they know that they could sell other products. But some people literally pigeonhole themselves into just selling books, or just selling DVDs, or just selling beauty, or just selling electronics. And like, bro, your competition sells other things and they are making money. Unless they're bad with their money, then they're not. But, you know, like storefront stalking helps to unlock some of those beliefs. So, yeah, speaking of that, we got the chat. We got Christiana, let's go. Good to see you. Downstairs eating breakfast. We got RW. Good morning. It's probably super early there because you're on the, I think you're in the Pacific time zone. Speaking of this, hey, Seth, have you sold any Yeti? I actually haven't. It's just not something that I really come across eBay to Amazon, but I'm pretty sure that's actually a good example. I've talked to people about Yeti, and they've basically said certain ASINs are safe and then certain ASINs aren't safe. So take that with a grain of salt, but that's probably how it would go. I've even heard I've heard North Face is just completely unsafe in the past, but then I've also heard people sell North Face. And like obviously there's people on Amazon selling North Face. So like you can kind of learn a little bit from there. The thing is some people do actually have letters from the brands authorizing them to sell these things. But I mean, in reality, most people don't. We got Blaine in the chat. Hey, Seth, good to see you. We haven't, haven't talked to you for a while. Good to see you. I think you're going to be there in September, right? It'll be good to reconnect there. California. Yeah. No risk, no reward is how I do business. Yeah. But the thing is you have to have the right balance of risk versus reward, because getting the lights pulled out from you or the rug pulled out from under you is no fun and defeats the purpose. Sweet. You'll be there. Awesome. So I figured I have an example of an item you could eBay to Amazon, and we'll kind of just go off and look at some storefronts and see what we can learn from these people. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen real quick. And Unwind Travels, there was a meetup going on that was announced like 3-4 months ago. It's just an Airbnb that 18 other sellers are staying in. I think it's full right now. But you can message Rake and Profit about that because he's the one that set it up, and potentially there'll be a spot. But that's going down in September. All right, so here's one. I mean, honestly, there literally might be more of these available on eBay right now, which I'm actually just curious. Yeah, so it's like this is not one that you're just gonna like absolutely rip through and just like sell so many units. Like we're only really seeing like one sale a month. But there's also no FBA offers, and so the FBA offers do tend to sell faster than just FBM offers. So let's say the price is around $38. We want to get this at 40% ROI, and I would be shooting for higher ROI on something like this. So I mean, we'll probably look for more like something below that. And you guys will see how many notifications I have on eBay because I have not gone through all my notifications. And did they literally have they have 3 of these for $27. That's probably a good deal, except the fact that like you're gonna have to hold on to these a little bit. Yeah, and that's a completely different product, which is very silly. So you can get both of these. And honestly, there might literally be, here's another sourcing technique. Like you literally just go to the alternative items or, I was just very confused here because this looks the same. No, they're not the same. Bottom section, you see different stuff. I was just curious if we could find that colorful one, because if you do your own prep, that would be an easy just like little combo purchase. These people don't like the item. Yeah. All right. So we're just looking for this new. I mean, the whole point is here's an item you could eBay to Amazon, and we're going to storefront stock from here. And if you look at the solds, people are getting this at a good price. That was like $13. I can't do mental math. 13, 14. Yeah, so that's some solid money right there. Solid ROI. Nothing like super huge. But like that's solid ROI. And if you do this over a lot of different products, you'll do well. So we'll take a look at who's on the listing right now. And we'll take a look at, I don't know, should we take a look at the slightly smaller seller who's still doing quite a bit, or the massive seller? I think we should look at this guy. So we'll go ahead and open up his store. Who was it? Yeah, it was this guy. So, so one thing that I'm seeing right away here is if you had any doubts about, you know, like building your store around like one type of product, like this guy is literally building his store around one type of product. I mean, his name is Image Supply Company. And like, if you just look at all his products, every single product is either Dell or Lexmark Inc. Like that's literally his whole store. 286 ASINs of that. And he does completely office products, 91 products. How does that work? I don't know how this is different than this. Maybe there's a different classification here. And it looks like he does, like, looking at most of the Keepa graphs, this is like the fastest Keepa we're seeing here, but it looks like most of them are slow ones, which does get to the point that I made yesterday in my Why Storefront Stalking is Dumb live stream, because that's a good point as well. Storefront Stalking are not necessarily going to see their complete best ASINs. Like their best ASINs are probably going to sell faster than they have supply for. That's just often how it goes. So like we're seeing this case in point here. A lot of this guy's slower moving items are in stock, and so we can see them. But there's less of these. There's less of these types of items that are just like selling quite quickly. I would consider 45K in office pretty quick. It's just harder to keep those in stock. But I mean, we can learn, like, we can basically like take all the hints possible and be like, yeah, yeah, you can sell ink on Amazon. Yeah, this guy sells just ink, all ink. And we could do some digging here, and I bet we could find a lot of these profitably. Like I've heard of Lexmark, but I did not take it seriously at all to realize there were this many products. And he might not be doing eBay to Amazon. He might be doing regular OA or wholesale or something like that. But oftentimes if we storefront stock off something, that is our, you know, like I do mostly eBay to Amazon. So if I storefront stock something that I did eBay to Amazon, there's often potential to find more eBay to Amazon in the people's stores that I'm looking at. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. But yeah, I mean, that's basically just to show you, like, we can break some beliefs real quickly. Like, I don't know, like some people think like, oh, I can't sell ink on Amazon, or like there's just a ton of different beliefs you could have. And then you see someone selling 90 ASINs of ink and you're like, like maybe I can sell ink. Let's take a look at someone else's storefront and see if we can get a little bit more variety here as well. Yeah, so I think it was, maybe we'll just look at something. Maybe we want something a little bit faster here. Maybe we're like, you know, I'm a little over how slow this stuff is. And I would understand that wholeheartedly. So we'll just open this up. And then we'll try and storefront stock off this one. And we'll just refresh the page so that we're seeing the whole listing. There's only 2 people on this one, which is interesting. There's a UPC. He's got 4. He's got 1. Wow, so people are having a hard time keeping this in stock. How is this staying in stock? Okay, so we got an item here that kind of has a bit of trouble staying in stock. And like, it was cheaper in the past. It was more expensive in the past. And then there was a ton of supply for a while, but it ended up drying up. And now that hardly anyone can keep this in stock and it goes out of stock sometimes, this image supply guy looks like he got a ton of it somehow. The price has gone up. So I would assume it would go back down to 70-ish. And I wouldn't bet the farm on it because it could go down more. But this is, I mean, it has been over $70 for the entire year. So I definitely would make plays like that. So I am just curious, can we get this on eBay to Amazon? We could also just Google this. But I don't really do this type of OA too much. So you'd have to do some digging here. This is not really what I'm set up for. But I am going to take a look on eBay, giving me all these UPCs, which is garbage. This is such a specific title. It like makes me not even know what to search. Probably this. And I'm going to get like different models. No, I'm not. I'm not actually getting 36, 37 XL. Lowest first. New opened box. So there's nothing available right now. This person sold it for 20 bucks. I guess you could probably bag these and sell it together. 32 bucks. Yeah, I mean, people, it looks like there are some opportunities to buy this profitably. I mean, I'd love to get this for 21 bucks. That's absolutely amazing. There's just not like a ton of supply on this one. Well, let's check out his store. And we got Unwin Travels saying what site to use to ungate in those brands like Dell, Samsung, Philips, etc. I think I got auto ungated in a lot of them. So as you go on, you'll be able to get auto ungated in a lot of other things. But I think Best Buy would work for a lot of those if you need to just manually get ungated. All right, so we got this bigger seller here, 3,600 feedback, 9,000 ASINs. He has tons of products here. So this guy is not your casual reseller. Like he doesn't just do this on the weekends. He has 9,000 ASINs, which is crazy. He's super wide. So this is one. It's like a library, like, and he's also very specifically around ink. It looks like most of his stuff is ink. So right away here, we're learning if you like fast moving ink, Canon is a really good go-to. We're seeing Canon here. We're seeing Brother. I mean, right here we can see the whole breakdown. Lexmark, Xerox, definitely heard of Xerox, Canon, Brother, Canola Mintola. That has some weird vintage expensive ASINs in it. I did an office closeout a couple years ago, and they had a lot of this brand. And back in the day, I was too scared to sell on Amazon. So what did I to sell in new condition on Amazon? So what did I do? I sold it in either used condition on Amazon or on eBay. And if I sold it on eBay, guess who purchased it? Probably eBay to Amazon sellers. So we could just click here to just see all of his. I don't even know. I don't think I'm saying it right. Kanoka Mentola. I'm definitely not saying it right. But there's a lot of these like multi-packs, or just like the one. They're all like high ASP toners too. I could probably look into these more because we love the high ASP, that's for sure. And also like there's an element of like some discontinued features of it, which is really good for account health. So like you could dig here for ages. You could be like, I've never heard of this brand. So what on earth is this? Oh, I think I have. I think there were like some weird typewriters that I've seen of these. Except he sells the cartridges, the toners. And these seem to be lower ASP. Also Sharp. I've definitely heard of Sharp. And I forget Sharp also does have toners. I think of calculators when I think of Sharp, because there's these like Sharp. I find these like if you thrift, like this is a nice, easy thing to find, like these types of calculators. Yeah, like these types of calculators. These sell extremely quickly too, and you can sell in used condition for like 40, 50 bucks sometimes. Let's take a look at the Keepa. Yeah, like you find these at thrift stores all the time. Like if I see something like this, I'm like, yes, I don't have to leave the thrift store without making any money. Usually they're not this fast. This is one of the models. But like this is like under 5K in office. Consistently selling in used very good condition for like 50 bucks. So I mean, oftentimes you get this for usually it's under 15 bucks that they price it at. If you're fortunate, it's more like 5 or 6. So that's always a nice pickup. Yeah, when I think of Sharp, I more so think of these. But there's literally so much to look through. And you sometimes think like, oh, there's not enough products to buy. But like, man, there's enough products to buy. There's catalogs after catalogs of stuff. And of course, we're gonna have to dig into like how we're gonna get these profitably. But there's just so much out there. And like obviously this person did it somehow. Whether it's wholesale, whether it's eBay to Amazon, whether it's business closeouts, whether it's whatever it is, there's a lot going on here. And that's what storefront stalking can actually teach you. Blaine says, love calculators. Calculators are so good. I definitely know Blaine loves his calculators. Unwind Travel says, thanks, Seth. I forgot to ask, are you still going to Bali? I am not going to Bali. I went to Puerto Rico with Christiana a couple months ago, and that was a bunch of fun. Absolutely loved that. We got like a private rainforest tour because we booked a tour and there was supposed to be 12 people that showed up. And so we had a tour guide, and it was just Christiana and I. So we're like, sweet, we get a private tour. And he's like, sweet, I get a less stressful day and get to just hang out. So that was a bunch of fun. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. And if you are interested in learning more about Amazon and connecting with me more, connecting with a lot of other sellers more, I do have a link to a free Discord down in the description below. I literally learn a lot from you guys, just from the discussion in there. And hopefully I'm teaching you guys some things as well. We got close to 100 people in there right now. Just all talking. Not all of us are talking, but there's a good core group of us talking in there. So come hang out and join the Discord. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and take care.